Welcome back to Stewart Media and Entertainment. I'm your host, Doug Stewart. Welcome back, man. Interesting conversation coming up here on the Doug Stewart Show, Stewart Media and Entertainment. Have y'all seen these little, I don't even know what to call them, man, electric balancing boards, hoverboards, smart scooters? I've heard them called many, many different things, but they are hot as fire right now. That's probably going to be one of the big shopping items this Christmas. And speaking of which, we're going to talk to, right now, as a matter of fact, Brian Massiah. He is the owner of Keystone Wizardry. Brian, how are you doing?
Fine, Doug. How are you?
I'm fantastic. So I just kind of gave you a little introduction just now and talking about the product that Keystone Wizardry manufactures and sells, but I see these things all over the place. It's kind of like, you know, I see them on the street, I see them at the mall, I see commercials, I see them on Facebook, on social media. Talk to us about this product, the self-balancing scooters, and how hot this item is.
How hot it is. This is the hottest thing out. I mean, you want to know a viral product? This is a viral product. It's everywhere. I mean, like you said, you see them on the internet, malls, shopping centers, wherever you go, someone's on it. It's the newest thing. People are amazed by it. I mean, this is a product, has no handles, just has two wheels, and you float around. Like, what could be better than that?
Yeah, it's really next wave type stuff, technology, all of that type of thing, and our listeners like that kind of stuff. Let's back up a little bit before we get into the details about this viral product, the self-balancing scooter. Let's talk a little bit about Brian Massiah. What made you decide to become an entrepreneur?
Well, Doug, I grew up in Trinidad. I'm not sure if you're familiar with this other Caribbean country, and thing with most Caribbean countries, they're considered third world. And I mean, there's a lot of poverty, there's a lot of different things that society is not accustomed to seeing, you know. Our way of life is different. So basically, if you don't have, you don't have. So you got to think outside the box and try to become something else. You got to try to become that person who can provide for his loved ones. So getting a 9 to 5, it looks good, it sounds attractive, but when you got people dependent on you, relying on you, you got to do more. So becoming an entrepreneur was what I saw for myself as actually alleviating myself out of poverty.
Talking to Brian Massiah right now, owner of Keystone Wizardry, self-balancing scooters. We'll get more into that in a second. So, yeah, I've heard about the lifestyle in the island of Trinidad. Talk a little bit about some of the things maybe that kind of molded you outside of the things that you just talked about just now, that kind of molded you to want to be successful and to build your own.
Well, I was raised by my mom, single parent, and the thing about being raised by a single parent, that's all you have. She has to be mom and dad. So she pushed me. She always let me know that she's here for me, she's there for me. Whatever I want to achieve, I could achieve it. Like, don't ever think because you didn't come from a family with money and stuff like that that you can't make it in life. So, you know, just the sky's the limit.
Hey, man, your newest venture is Keystone Wizardry, the name of the company. Can you tell us about that and exactly what you guys do there?
Well, Keystone Wizardry is basically the smaller companies or larger companies, which is Quality Wholesale. Quality Wholesale, we basically deal with wholesale, closeout goods and stuff like that. We started Keystone Wizardry because we wanted to brand our own products. We wanted to actually have new, exciting products on the market. We wanted to have new technology and stuff like that. So we came up with Keystone Wizardry, and we actually started putting out our own line of product. And the self-balancing scooter has been like one of our major hits thus far.
Where does the name exactly come from? How does it tie into what you do there at Keystone Wizardry? Where does the name Keystone Wizardry come from?
We wanted something magical. I mean, we sat there. Quality Wholesale, the initials are KW. I mean, we wanted to stick with the KW. So, you know, we brainstormed and we said, like, if we're going to take it to the future, we want a name that says something futuristically, something that says something magically. So we came up with Keystone Wizardry.
Yeah, and I see the logo for you guys' company. That does make you think of the future. All right, so talk to us a little bit about these balancing boards. What's your newest venture at Keystone Wizardry, and can you tell us about that, these mobility devices?
Well, like they've been on the market 6 months. That's how long they've been on the market, and they've already been viral. what we did was we were doing some research, and we wanted to actually bring a line of boards that were actually durable. When we started our company, the main basis behind it was actually providing a product that had durability in it. A lot of products out there in the market that actually go viral or are becoming trending, they don't have any shelf life. They don't have any product life out of them. So we decided, you know what, we're going to do some research. We're going to find the best boards out there. We're going to find the best materials the boards are made from, and that's what we're going to bring to the market. So we did our research. We've been through many manufacturers, and eventually we came up with one who was actually using products that we wanted our boards to be built from, and basically we started production.
If you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network, go to Keystone Wizardry. That's KEYSTONE. WIZARDRY.com, and check out exactly what we're talking about. You've seen them around, and my daughter actually has already talked to me about getting one of these things for Christmas, man, so it's going to be big. As you just mentioned, it's viral. Why do you think it's so viral? Why do you think that it's such a craze? And I'm telling you, I've seen them everywhere. I've seen them on TV commercials. I've seen them on social media. It's kind of like the hottest thing going today.
I think anything with a wheel attracts people. Anything that moves people, it attracts them. But this is almost like a Segway. I mean, when Segways were first introduced, people were crazed by them. They were like, oh, wow, Segways, well, what is this new technology? And then they have this product that's almost like a Segway, but there's no handle. You just stand on it, and it moves. You know, people think it operates by your mind, by so many different things they think these boards operate on, but basically they operate on our motion sensors.
Wow, and you just talked about it. That's one of the questions I wanted to ask you, and we're talking to Brian Massiah right now, owner of Keystone Wizardry, self-balancing scooters. Talk about how hard is it to drive one of these things, because I've seen them. Once again, I've seen people out on them, and it doesn't look easy to me. How easy is it to drive these things?
I'll put it to you like this. This woman, she was probably like about 70 years old. She said, oh, my God, you have to have really good balance to be on one of that. I said, you know what, as long as you can walk, you can ride one of this, because you got to have balance to walk. Wow. That was my answer. I mean, it takes roughly between 15 to 20 minutes to actually get accustomed to it. With any new product, it's going to be different. The first time you rode a bike, you weren't as skillful as you are now, you know? So it takes some getting used to. It's a different way of actually operating a mobility device. You're using your feet, you're not using your hands. You're not using a steering wheel or anything like that. You're using your feet for acceleration, deceleration, and to steer.
Wow. Mobility devices, electric balancing scooter, balancing board, hoverboard, smart scooters. They're called a bunch of different things. I'm almost 50 years old. I've been joking about that the last couple of days. I just had a birthday. But I remember when I was a kid, we always were fascinated with the TV show, the cartoon, The Jetsons, and mobility and traveling differently and flying cars. Do you think there's a future for mobility devices like this?
I think there is. And one of the biggest part about this device is there's no carbon emissions. It runs on rechargeable batteries. I mean, you're looking at saving the planet. You want to invest in products that's not going to give off any sort of harmful emissions in the planet.
Right.
This device, I mean, it's a mobility device, and it meets the standard of all major mobility devices that you could actually ride it around on the curbs, in malls, shopping centers, wherever you go, because the size of it is actually 23 inches in width, which is almost your shoulder width. Wow.
Talking to Brian Massiah right now. KeystoneWizardry.com. Once again, that's KeystoneWizardry.com right here on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. All right, so talk about your particular brand. Why is your brand the best?
Because we are the best. We've actually invested a lot into this product. When we started looking for it, I mean, there were so many different manufacturers offering us different price range. And with any business, you want to be able to make a good profit on your product. But at the same time, actually making sure your customer returns to you is the biggest factor of our company. So we needed to make sure that when we developed this scooter, that we had the right parts in it, that it met all patent, all engineering specifications, and we wanted to make sure that when we sell this product, that there was no problems on the market with this product. So we made sure that the manufacturer built our boards to the best standards there is.
I'm looking at you guys' website right now. You have a bunch of different models, a bunch of different color schemes, the electric one, the electric two, electric boards, electric tough. Talk about the different options as far as the self-balancing scooters on you guys' website with Keystone Wizardry?
Well, the options are based on basically your style and your weight. The electric one, it holds 260 pounds. I mean, they come in standard colors, black, white. We have an orange, we have a blue, and these boards are 6.5 inches in terms of the tire width. Now, the clearance on these boards are probably like about 1.5 inches. So it could only be run on surfaces that are smooth, no big bumps. You can't run them in the grass and stuff like that. Then we have the electric 2. Now, the clearance on it there is 3.5 inches. It gives you more clearance. You could go into more rugged terrain. Then we have the electric tough. The electric tough is a 10-inch wheel, and there's almost 6 inches of clearance under there. So a lot of people use them for like trail hikes and stuff like that. So it's really based on what your preference of using this board is, and also what your style is.
Yeah, talk a little bit about your customer service. You're kind of talking about fitting a particular board for a particular person. Talk about you guys' customer service and how you try to fit a customer with the perfect board for them.
Well, one thing we like to ask is, what is your use? What is your main use? Now, we have some college kids call us sometime, and they want a board so they could get around campus. We recommend 6-inch because it's flat surfaces they're running on. Then you got guys, they like to go on the trails and stuff like that. We're going to recommend the 10-inch board. You got some guys, they're over 260 pounds. We're going to recommend the 10-inch wheel, I'm sorry. Those are the differences that the product is going to have, and those are also some of the questions that we actually ask the customers in terms of fitting them with the right board.
Talk about
your weight and what's your use.
Talk about it one more time, and you kind of mentioned it earlier, but get a little bit more into detail about the operation of it. It works on a battery. How long does the battery last? How convenient is it for you to bring the charger? How does that work?
Well, the charger is almost the size of like a laptop charger. It's very convenient. We actually offer a carrying bag, so you can actually store your device in it when you're not using it. Carrying it around is pretty simple.
Okay, and we're finishing up with Brian Massiah right now on the Stewart Media and Entertainment and Network. And looking at your bio and reading about you and your company Start, I thought it was very interesting to see that you're very outspoken on supporting black-owned businesses. I'm all for that. I'm all for that. Talk about that and how did that come into your philosophy as a business owner?
Well, a lot of that philosophy came from, like I said, being on the islands and stuff like that. Growing up in poverty, it's more or less you gotta survive. It's you. A lot of people, they don't look at coming together. That's the least furthest thing from your mind. So when I got into business, I wanted to surround myself with people who had the same concept as myself, working together, coming together. Let's build something. Let's do something. Whatever environment we're in, let's help grow that community, because growing a community, protecting a community, helping a community is only going to be beneficial to you as a person being in that community.
Finishing up right now with Brian Massiah, owner of Keystone Wizardry. They sell self-balancing scooters, which is the hottest craze. Once again, I mentioned it earlier. My daughter has already asked me, my 11-year-old daughter has already asked me about one. I don't know if that's going to be on the wish list, but we will see. And this thing is just hot. It's very hot right now. You're talking about the electric one, the electric 2, electric boards, electric tough, all at KeystoneWizardry.com. Once again, that's KeystoneWizardry.com, the hottest craze this holiday season. All right, so talk about the future a little bit. We're talking about these boards, and I think that this is going to continue to get bigger. You're going to have different variations of this self-balancing scooter or this hoverboard. Talk about the future for Keystone Wizardry.
Well, we plan to stay in tune with our customers and provide what they want. Like, even with our line of boards, all our boards come with Bluetooth speakers. So imagine riding around listening to your favorite jams. I mean, that was one thing that was asked by consumers. Hey, can you put Bluetooth in it? Of course we can put Bluetooth in it. So whatever our customers require, we're going to try our best to actually advance and develop these boards that it fits them.
Wow. So you have a Bluetooth option as well so that you can hear music at the same time when you're driving.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about the remote control. It actually has 2 motors, Samsung Life battery. They're waterproof, dustproof. I mean, they have a lot of great options as well as just being fun.
Yes, they are.
Finishing up right now with Brian Massiah from Keystone Wizardry on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. Brian, talk a little bit about, before we let you go, how big do you expect this to be this holiday season, and what do you think the future is for this type of board, or do you see it varying and evolving over time to where we're more dependent on this type of vehicle?
Well, I wouldn't say be more dependent, but I think we're going to use this device. That's how I see it. The first time cell phones came out, people were thinking, oh, you're going to be dependent. You're dependent somewhat, but it's a use. You need to call someone. You need to get in contact with someone. It's there, just like with these boards. You need to get somewhere in a short distance without using your car, without releasing carbon emissions and stuff like that. So I see this board basically going into the future where it's actually going to become more and more affordable for almost any and everyone to have one of these, and it's going to be the wave of the future. It's going to be a way of travel.
Wow. KeystoneWizardry.com. KeystoneWizardry.com. Once again, to spell that for the listeners, is Keystone, Wizardry. That's WIZARDRY.com. And the owner, Brian Massiah. Brian, can you give the listeners to the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network some type of deal if they mention my name?
Oh, definitely. I mean, they could actually go to the product. If you go to the website, as you mentioned, KeystoneWizardry.com, you go to Shop Product Specials. Right now, just because we're actually on your show, we're offering a 40% discount for this month.
Wow, a 40% discount for the month of November 2015. Now, this is going to be an ongoing marketing type interview for you, but for the month of November 2015, if you mention the Doug Stewart Show, 40% off the price. That's crazy.
Yep.
Wow. Well, Brian, good luck to you, man. Keystone Wizardry, I'm sure you guys are going to do some big things. You're at the forefront of this movement, and I know you're going to have nothing but success. Thank you for coming on and talking to us.
I appreciate being on your show, man. I appreciate it a lot. Thank you very much.
There he is, Brian Massiah from Keystone Wizardry.